Hi, Gary Buffini from ARC Leadership Dynamics here. Welcome back to week number 4 in our leadership series, in which our primary focus is to help you be even more intentional about growing your team towards a place of significance, especially as it relates to how work gets done. So, first 3 weeks, we focused primarily on what that program is going to look like. The first thing we did was we wanted you to create a habit in which you would work on your business once a week. And we asked you to carve out 20 minutes once a week to work on your business. If you've done that, great. If you haven't, you need to do it, because you ain't going anywhere with this program unless you do that on a weekly basis. Week 2, we said, take a look at your direct reports. Write down 1 or 2 specific things that you would like to see each one of them do that will give you greater peace of mind. And then week 3, we asked you to think about how your team gets work done. And then we want you to take a look at the core values and wrap a message around those core values. So in other words, here's how I want this team to operate with regards to how they communicate with each other, how they collaborate, how they resolve conflict, the creative process, how they drive towards excellence, or they drive momentum or efficiencies or effectiveness. Whatever the things are that matter most to you, wrap them around the core values, and that becomes the platform that you want to drive this initiative from. So what I want you to do is I want you to call a meeting with your team this week, have everybody present, and announce this initiative and let them know why it is that you're doing this. Also, after you have answered any and all of their questions, tell them that you need their help to bring this alive. And in order to do that, you're going to call another meeting a week from then. And at that meeting, they're going to answer 3 questions. First question is, what are the things that are currently working well? The reason we ask this question is because we want to create a culture in which people are aware that there are actually things working well. We get up out of bed in the morning, we go into work thinking about the problems of the day, the challenges, the frustrations, the irritations, all of the things that are built around issues. We want them to just take a moment to think, yeah, there are actually things that are working well. Secondly, and this is where you're going to get the bulk of your information, we want them to answer the question, where are the biggest challenges? We'll gather that information up, and by the way, we have a process for doing that in a very orderly manner in which those challenges are prioritized, etc. And I'll get into all of that next week. We want to gather that information. If nothing else, it allows them to get things off their chest. But the most important thing is they want to be heard, and this gives them an opportunity to do that. The third question we ask them is, if you were in my position, what are the solutions that you would put in place? What are the solutions that you would drive? Because we want them to be solution oriented. We don't want them just to stop with identifying the challenges, because then literally you're going to have a culture filled with complainers. We don't want that to be the case. We want them to drive all the way through with, here are possible solutions. So this week, call your meeting with your team, announce the program that you're doing, and then schedule the second meeting, the meeting in which you're going to get feedback. This meeting is crucial. By the way, in 25 years in the coaching business, I have seen people absolutely screw this up 10 different ways to Sunday. Okay, there are very specific things that you do that will work, and there's very specific things that you don't do. Let me give you one example. I've seen people do this all the time. They get feedback from each one of their direct reports, but they do it one-on-one. The only instance in which you get feedback from your direct reports one-on-one is if you have a team of 1. Every other time, you gather it as a group. Now look, next week I'm going to get into the very specifics of this. I'm going to go through it from start to finish with regards to how to gather this information in the most meaningful way possible that gets buy-in from them, and also it's information that will be most meaningful for you and the organization as it relates to what it is that you're going to put in place right after that meeting. So very specific do's and don'ts with regards to that. But that's for next week. This week, schedule a meeting with your team, get them together, and then schedule the follow-up meeting. Make sure you circulate those questions to them. I like to give it in a paper format so they have something to bring to the meeting. And the reason is that it allows the quiet ones to have something to work off when they're being asked to give their feedback. Anyway, we can get into all of that next week. By the way, if you know anybody who you think would enjoy this type of meeting, this type of series, let us know their contact information, and with their permission we'll add them to the list, and they can enjoy the series as well. If you know anybody who would enjoy or benefit from the types of services that we provide at ARC, whether it's hiring leaders or working with individual leaders for coaching, or whether it's team dynamics, please reach out to me, Gary@arcld.com, and I'll be happy to follow up with them. Until next week, I wish you the very best with your meeting that you're going to have with your team. Bye for now.